So, let's talk about Tiger Woods. Before the whole world got a front row seat to his very messy, very public drama, this man wasn't just a golfer. No, 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 he was golf. He would walk onto the green and you could feel the energy shift. It was electric. He had this laser focus, this killer instinct, and a swing so perfect it looked like it was designed by a supercomputer. He was breaking records left and right, collecting major championships like they were Pokemon cards. Seriously, the man was a phenomenon, a global icon who transcended his sport in a way few athletes ever do. His image was pristine, completely flawless. It was like it had been handcrafted in a lab for maximum marketability. Here was this incredible athlete, a mixed-race kid who broke down barriers in a traditionally very, very white sport. He was the face of Nike, Gatorade, American Express, you name it. If you wanted your product to scream excellence and integrity, you slapped Tiger's face on it. He represented the American dream on steroids. He was cool, he was calm, he was in complete control. He never seemed to sweat, never seemed to falter. He was the hero of the story, the guy who always wins, both on the course and in life. So you have this perfect picture, right? The happy family, the endless trophies, the billion-dollar smile. But then, one day you start to notice a tiny little crack. In late 2009, a tabloid, the National Enquirer, the newspaper that usually tells you aliens have endorsed a presidential candidate, published a story. It claimed Tiger Woods was having an affair with a New York nightclub hostess named Rachel Uchitel. At first, everyone brushed it off. But then, in a twist worthy of a soap opera, she abruptly canceled her press conference. That's not suspicious at all, is it? The story wasn't just a fringe rumor anymore. It was starting to bubble up into the mainstream. Journalists who had spent years writing about his glorious victories were now asking very different, very uncomfortable questions. The carefully guarded walls of Tiger's private life were beginning to show serious signs of stress. The perfect image was being threatened not by a rival golfer but by a gossip magazine. And then came Thanksgiving 2009. A day for turkey, family, and, in the Woods household, apparently a little bit of drama. In the middle of the night, around 2:30 a.m., the world learned that Tiger Woods had crashed his Cadillac Escalade. Now, this wasn't just a little fender bender. He hit a fire hydrant and then a tree right outside his own driveway. When the police arrived, they found him lying in the street, dazed, with his wife Elin standing over him holding a golf club. Yes, a golf club. The symbolism is so thick you could cut it with a 9-iron. The official story was fuzzy, but the details were just too juicy for people to ignore. His wife used a golf club to break the back window to get him out. Okay, maybe. Or maybe she was chasing him out of the house with it after discovering some not-so-PG text messages on his phone. This wasn't just a car accident. This was the opening scene of a mystery movie. The incident was the gasoline poured on the bonfire of rumors. It took the story from the gossip pages and blasted it onto the front page of every newspaper in the world. After the Escalade met the tree, the floodgates didn't just open. They were blown off their hinges by a Category 5 hurricane of scandal. The first woman, Rachel Uchitel, was just the beginning. Soon, other women started coming forward. It was a parade of cocktail waitresses, models, and nightclub managers, each with their own story to tell about their time with the world's most famous golfer. It was wild. The media went into a complete frenzy. Every day, it seemed, a new name and a new face would pop up, often with voicemails or text messages as proof. There was one particularly famous voicemail, where Tiger sounded less like a legendary athlete and more like a teenager trying to get his girlfriend to cover for him. This wasn't just a simple affair. The sheer scale of it was mind-boggling. The reports claimed he had met these women all over the world, often while traveling for golf tournaments. The logistics alone must have been exhausting. The whole affair became a cultural phenomenon. Late-night talk show hosts had enough material to last them for months. People who had never watched a minute of golf in their lives were now experts on the Tiger Woods scandal. When a star as big as Tiger Woods falls, they don't fall alone. They bring a whole bunch of things down with them, starting with the sponsors. Accenture, a consulting firm whose slogan was literally, "Go on, be a tiger," dropped him immediately. Gillette, Tandy Tea, and Gatorade all followed suit. The financial hit was staggering. Estimates suggest the scandal cost him tens of millions of dollars in lost endorsements alone. His divorce settlement was reportedly around $100 million. Then came the impact on his personal life, which was obviously catastrophic. His marriage to Elin Nordegren crumbled. The perfect family that we saw in all those wholesome commercials was broken. He lost his wife, and the time with his 2 young children was forever changed. And what about the fans? Many felt betrayed. They had looked up to him, not just as a golfer, but as a person. On the golf course, when he eventually returned, he was met with a mix of cheers and jeers. The unwavering adoration he had enjoyed for over a decade was gone. After weeks of hiding from the world, Tiger knew he had to face the music. In February 2010, he held a press conference. It was a strange event. He stood at a podium in a blue-curtained room, with only a few select journalists and his mother in the audience. There were no questions allowed. He just stood there and read a 14-minute prepared statement. He admitted to being selfish and foolish, and he apologized for his irresponsible behavior. He said, "I was unfaithful, I had affairs, I cheated." The reaction to the apology was mixed. Some people saw it as a sincere first step towards redemption. But critics called it a masterclass in public relations, not a genuine act of contrition. It was an apology on his terms. So what happens after the world burns down? For Tiger Woods, the path back was long and incredibly difficult. When he finally returned to golf, he wasn't the same player. The magic was gone. He struggled with injuries, especially his back. Then, against all odds, the impossible happened. In 2019, a full 11 years after his last major victory, Tiger Woods won the Masters. It was one of the greatest comeback stories in the history of sports. When he sank that final putt, he let out a primal scream of relief, joy, and redemption. So what's the takeaway from this epic saga? The Tiger Woods scandal showed us that nobody is perfect, no matter how much money or how many trophies they have. But what do you think? Can a person truly redeem themselves, or do the mistakes of the past define them forever? Let's talk about it in the comments below. If this story got you thinking, smash that like button, subscribe for more controversial sports stories, and share this with someone who needs to hear about the rise, fall, and rise again of Tiger Woods. Thanks for watching.